Some of the challenges I've learned over the couple of years. I'm fairly new to no-till myself, but this has been a very educational 5 years. Some of the ground is just now coming into a no-till program, and so that's how long it took me to get the farm going into full no-till. And then we've already quickly moved into strip till because of some of the challenges. The biggest things I've learned was on the planter, I really emphasized the down pressure system and alternating or upgrading your closing wheels or adding a drag chain or something just to help make sure you get that trench closed good and tucked around the seed, and to make sure that that row unit stays at the depth you put it at. The other big challenge was hybrid selection. We had workhorses and we had racehorse hybrids that I loved them in conventional corn. You'd put them out there in that hot sand in the spring with some rain, and they'd take off, and they were just fantastic. We went to putting them into a no-till situation, and they were a flop. It is like, what the heck? They did not like that cold, wet soil. They didn't have much vigor to them, and so that is a huge thing. Huge thing. If you're going to go to a no-till, I would spend your first couple years doing test plots. If it's beans, corn, sunflowers, canola, wheat, do some test plots on your hybrids and see which ones are going to love it. Your first year, if you did a major soil correction and it's tilled anyhow, that might not be a true comparison, but it's a start. It's a start. And so, simply put, the challenges were to make sure the planter's doing its good job and find some hybrids. We also learned, like we said before with the insecticide, some soil life come in. We had an issue of we were cleaning the trash out of the way for corn on corn no-till, and one big problem there was if we swerved over a little bit and hit last year's corn stump, it might pull the planter up and out for a few feet, and then it rode on top, so then you had a skip of crop for that however feet, 4, 8, 10 feet. Or the residue got too close to last year's corn stock and it piled up, and then as the row unit went through, it just fell right back over the row, and so you had clumps of the row where that corn is buried under that residue, and it took that couple weeks more for them 3 feet of corn to come up. You know, in 3 feet you've got 6, 8, 10 plants, whatever your spacing is depending on your plant. Well, they come up, they're pretty much a weed at this point. 2 weeks behind, they're a weed or they're a half plant. And so that was very frustrating. On the corn is such a fussy plant as far as its seedling growth and germination and getting out of the ground even, and no competition and stuff like that. That's what pushes fast forward from no-till right into strip-till, was because strip-till fixed every issue we were having with no-till corn. No-till beans are a cakewalk. A floating row cleaner and plant. It was that simple. We did not care about depth consistency, maybe add some drag chains, and I definitely would change that closing wheel, but maybe add some drag chains and race across that field and get them beans in. Beans are very forgiving on planting depth, plant spacing, things like that. I have not had one complaint going to no-till beans. I've done many side-by-side comparisons on my farm of strip-till with fertilizer for beans, strip-till with massive fertilizer for corn, all your urea and stuff like that, right next to no-till, right next to conventional till. And at the end of the year, the no-till paid the best. It didn't yield the best. It yielded right up there with the strip till with regular fertility, no fertility, and conventional tillage. There's pretty much no yield difference whatsoever on that particular little field. Over on the sandhill, I'd say the no-till flat out yields all the others. With the corn fertilizer program, yep, that gained us, 5, 6 bushel, but that 5 or 6 bushel didn't even come close to paying for the fertilizer that was in the ground. So that one actually lost money or didn't make as much money as the other no-till beans. Maybe going into no-till, start with a simple crop like that. That's very forgiving and whatnot. Other than that, I loved the first couple years of no-till. I was home every evening for supper with the wife. during the day while planting on tilled soil with a 2-wheel drive tractor, you're always steering and hunting, and it's super dusty. I planted for a couple guys back then that throughout the day you'd have to stop, let the dust clear so you could see your marker line again, and then start rolling again. That was before I had the Integra. But even then, I would just snap a guidance line. You literally drove blind through this cloud of dust. And you're cleaning cab filters and engine air filters all the time. On no-till, the ground is so stable that you just drove. Last year we had a lot of 60 and 65 degree days. I'd open the windows on the tractor, just have the fan on, and the air conditioning itself pretty much wasn't on, just the fan moving, the windows open, the engine just idling along. It was fantastic. There was no dust coming in the windows. It was awesome. You could hear the corn stalks breaking under the tires and whatnot. I love the field. So the benefits of going to no-till 1,000,000% on our ground outweigh the struggles of staying with tillage. You will never get me to go back to full-scale tillage across broad acres. So yeah, some of the challenges, they weren't that bad. Most of them were just that specific crop of corn. But you'll have some challenges. It's not a cakewalk, but learn from that mistake or whatever you make. That's why we're doing it on small acres. You can learn from it, you can make mistakes, and then after you see the benefits, then start bringing it into your other fields. And who knows, 5, 6, 7 years down the road, you'll just be laughing your way to the bank. And so good luck.